Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to Dr. Monkey, where we laugh together and cry together, but hopefully take something away to treat each other a little better. Here's some interesting stories. One about OP's mother who didn't believe in her kids' allergies. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Story 1. I'm allergic to fish, seafood. It's not the anaphylactic type of allergy, thank goodness, so I'm not going to die if I eat some, but I do throw up and have a stomach ache as well as a massive headache for a few hours. Enough fish, seafood, and I break out in small red hives all over my arms. My mother didn't believe it, and as a child, I couldn't stand up to her properly. She'd force me to eat stuff with seafood or fish to prove I wasn't allergic, then ignore me when I was sick. One day she held a dinner party. I was dressed up beautifully and trotted out to parade before the guests. At the time, I was around 9, precocious for my age and absolutely fed up with my mother making me sick. When she held out a fish cutlet, fish cooked with vegetables, rolled into a ball, covered in batter and fried, for me to eat, I saw my chance. Me, loudly, I can't eat that. I'm allergic to fish. Mother, no, you're not. Eat it. Me, I'm allergic. I'll throw up. No Asian mother will back down in front of guests for fear of looking like she can't discipline her child. My mother grabbed the fish cutlet, shoved it into my mouth, and said in her most firm voice of command, "Eat!" So, I ate it. Cut to about 10 minutes later, I go up to my mother and tug on her sorry to get her attention. Me, I don't feel well. And then I threw up on her. On her expensive carpet, and in full view of all the guests. My mother has a reputation for being a kind, generous, charitable, and very religious woman. So in front of all the guests, she couldn't do anything except act sympathetic and send me off to bed to recover. She never made me eat fish or seafood again. I find it baffling that she had a reputation for being kind if she literally forced an allergen into her child's mouth in front of company. There's some serious cognitive dissonance there. Story 2. My 18th birthday is today, and I'm moving out within the next couple days. My mom is losing it because she won't be able to scream at me for nothing anymore. My grandpa's thankfully letting me stay with him until I can get my own place and get on my feet. I was out with my band to celebrate, and I got home the evening around 6. My mom didn't talk to me, and my stepdad only said hi. My stepdad asked me what was next, and I told him I was moving out. A little while ago, my mom screamed at me because she wanted to move out with me, but I'm not letting her. Truth be told, I'm moving out to get away from her. I didn't know if my stepdad knew about my mom wanting to move out, so I told him about that, and he went silent, then left. Later, I was watching Jurassic Park and I heard my mom and stepdad arguing. They argued before, but this was worse. They were full-on screaming at each other. Towards the end of the movie, my mom came into the room and started to scream at me for telling stepdad about her wanting to move out with me. Then she told my stepdad it doesn't even matter. He's not letting me live with him. And my stepdad said, "It does matter. You didn't tell me, and you were going to move out and leave me in the dust." They argued more until my stepdad left the house. My mom came to my room and screamed at me for telling my stepdad about her plan. She said I was disturbing the peace. Then she went outside and is now smoking. I don't want her moving in with me because she screams at me for the smallest things. An example is when she screamed at me for being a pig when I burped in the bathroom a couple days ago. And she basically wants to quit her job and live in my basement so I can support her. I actually find it a little funny that she thinks I can afford a place with a basement right now. But anyway, I really don't know how to end this post, so I'm going to leave it here. Update. I just moved out of my entitled parents' place. My mom made it so hard when I was moving. As of earlier today, I moved basically all of my stuff and only had a few things left. My mom called one of her friends over and told her that I was moving out. The friend that came over had a kid 2 years younger than me. We went to the same school before I graduated. When I would walk home from school, more often than not, I'd hear her badmouthing my mom to other parents. I only heard bits and pieces of my mom and her friends' conversations, but what I heard, my mom told her friend that she gave me a place to live for 18 years, and now I was leaving without paying her back, or paying rent for the time I stayed there after my 18th birthday. I turned 18 not even 3 days ago. Her friend went off on me, telling me I should be ashamed of myself, and that she doesn't know how my mom got stuck with me as a kid. I wanted to say something back, but I just put in my earbuds and listened to music instead. A little while later, just before I was leaving, I noticed I was missing a picture of me and my band in costume. We are a Kiss tribute band. I'm Ace Frehley in the band. I looked around and saw my mom and her friend looking at it, laughing to themselves and criticizing me. I took it back and my mom said, "I don't know how you're still in that band. They could get a much better guitarist." I said, "I may not be the best guitarist, but my friends don't talk about me behind my back." Then I took the picture and left. My mom and her friend argued as I was leaving. My stepdad hasn't come home yet. I texted him and asked if he was alright, and he said he was staying at his friend's house until he processes the situation. Even though he's a major idiot and lectures me for no reason, part of me still felt a little bad. I'm at my grandpa's house now. I still have to get settled in, but I'm free. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. My grandpa even got me a new Flying V for my birthday. I usually play my Les Paul, but the V looks cool. I'm happy with it. What did she think was gonna happen? Children stay in the house until they give you stuff for 18 years to repay her? If you expect a child to repay you for raising them, then you have brain damage. Story 3. So a bit of background. I'm a new law enforcement officer at my agency, and it's my first month out on my own. It was near the end of my 12-hour shift, and it was a busy day, lots of reports and calls. So my dispatch sends me out to a call to a local fast food Mexican place about a woman who was calling to have a cop show up. It wasn't in my area, but I was the closest unit, so I picked it up. Boy did I regret it. I arrived on the scene and I met everyone involved. EM, entitled mom. IK, innocent kid, who looks to be in her mid-teens. And manager. EM and EK are waiting in the dining area with manager by the counter. "Hello, ma'am, I'm Officer OP. You called to speak with law enforcement?" EM cuts me off. EM, "About time you show up. I demand that you arrest the manager of this place." Me, very confused. "Okay, what did he do to you?" EM, "He tried to poison my daughter, and he won't give me a refund." Me, "How did he try to poison your daughter?" EM, "We are vegans and this man put meat in her food, and when I demanded a refund, he refused. I want him arrested, now!" So I go to the manager and start to speak with him about what happened. Me, "So what happened today?" EM comes in and orders a meal, and told me yes, EM's daughter got the wrong meal. EM goes ballistic and approaches the counter and starts cussing out my employees, and then throws the food on the wall. When I offered to replace the meal, she called me an idiot and called you guys. I look over the manager's shoulder, and there is food on the wall from where she threw it. Now the problem is, I cannot make the restaurant give her money back, and this is a civil issue, so I have no legal authority on the matter. So I go back to my patrol car, and I get the corporate number for the restaurant. I then go talk to EM, who was talking to IK about how mommy was going to take care of everything. Me, "Ma'am, here's the number to the corporate office. As this is a civil matter, I have no legal authority to force a private business to do anything, and the manager did not commit any crime." EM, "What? Did your simply high school education brain not hear me? He tried to poison my daughter. Arrest him!" I had to take a step back because at this point she was screaming in my face. IK kid buries her head in her arms, and she was bright red. Me, "Ma'am, he mistakenly gave you the wrong order. Attempt to fix it, and you refused to accept it. Your dietary preference was violated, but there's no attempt to poison your daughter." EM, "I want to speak to your supervisor." At this point, I put out on the radio for my supervisor. but they are busy with shift change. I look at the manager who walked up to me with that "I'm tired of this lady" crap look on his face. Him. I would very much like this lady to leave. Me. I can trespass her if you like. The manager smiles and says, "Yes." My supervisor arrives on the scene a little while later, and I explain what was happening and what the manager wanted. So my supervisor walks into EM and speaks to her. He comes back over to me holding back laughter. He told me that EM said that I was unprofessional, cussed at her, and called her a vegan idiot, and asked for my information so that she can file a formal complaint against me. I guess EM didn't realize the big black box in the center of my uniform was a body camera, and my supervisor knew me from our time together in the military. So he knew she was full of it. So the manager filled out the paperwork to have her trespass from the property. My supervisor let me tell her. Me. Ma'am, as I said before, this is a civil matter, but you've been trespassed from this property, and you must leave or you will be subject to arrest. EM. I am a tax-paying citizen of this county. That stupid idiot is probably illegal. You should be arresting him. I'm gonna have your badge for this. Now, what happened next is what makes this story crazy. IK, who has been silent the whole time, stands up and speaks. IK. Mom, cut the crap. You eat meat and we all know it. Just stop it. You're making it way worse than what it needs to be. All of us were in complete disbelief at what IK said, and EM turns bright red and walks out of the restaurant, IK following her. The restaurant manager thanks us and I finally get to go home, after surviving my first encounter with a Karen. Wanna bet a banana that she thought if she got loud she'd get free food? Too many managers, etc., give in to get rid of them, and this creates a cycle of entitlement. I'd also bet corporate is going to hear about this. I can only hope the manager fills them in before they give in to her. Story 4. So myself and my girlfriend were coming back from Paris after my brother's wedding. We took the Eurostar both ways, but on the way there, we went standard class. My girlfriend and I were paying for the return and we thought we'd go for it by upgrading to standard premier, which was slightly more expensive than normal standard, but we don't go to Paris very often. There was a third option, business premier, but we're not made of money. The main difference between standard and standard premier are that the standard is pretty cramped. In the standard premier, you get extra legroom, and with regular standard, you have to go and buy food on board. But with standard premier, you get the food and drinks at your seat. The different options are divided in different carriages. Standard carriage is 1 through 5, premier is 7 through 12, and 14 through 18 is also standard. My girlfriend and I get to the train. Our seats are in the carriage towards the middle, and we're in one of the rows nearest the door. We get settled in our seats, ready to leave, when EM approaches. All paraphrasing. EM seemed nice at first, but it didn't last. EM. Excuse me. Me. Yes. EM. I'm terribly sorry to ask you this. I hope you don't mind. Girlfriend. Yes. EM. My daughter and I are traveling and we're put a bit far back. She has a bad leg. We need to be a bit closer to the doors, and we can't be getting up to get food and drink. Girlfriend. Oh, poor her. I broke my leg a couple years and that was awful. Had to have crutches and everything. How old is she? EM. She's 8. She's really in bad way, but she's such a trooper. It'd be so much easier if we were a bit further forward. Me. Where you sat? Me. Where's your seat? EM. Just a little back. She gestures vaguely behind us, and I get suspicious at this point. Me. Yeah, but where specifically? What carriage number? EM. I think it was 3. Now, we're on coach 10. This is a significant difference. Additionally, coach 3 is standard seating only. Me. Isn't 3 standard class? EM. Well, yes, but my daughter needs these seats. Girlfriend catching on to EM's plan. Look, we're not unsympathetic, but we sort of paid extra for these seats. Me. Also, where is your kid? EM. I'm going back for her once I've sorted the seats. So can I tell her it's sorted? Me. We've not agreed to anything. Isn't Coach 3 closer to the front than 10? If it's about proximity, you'd be far better off in Coach 2. EM. No, she needs a legroom too, and she can't keep getting up to help. You look like you can afford it. Me. Not really. We're only splashing out this once, and it was my brother's wedding. EM huffs. Look, are you going to give me the seats or not? Girlfriend. In this oversweet voice she does that usually indicates she's on her last nerve with someone. It sounds like you're actually further up than we are. If legroom is an issue, I'm sure we can speak to someone. I'm pretty sure your coach has priority boarding. I'll help you find someone, sort something out. It's really no trouble. Girlfriend gets up and leads Ian back to her coach, with Ian grumbling the whole time. Girlfriend comes back about 5 minutes later and tells me that the daughter, who is not at all entitled, is also totally fine and in no way has a bad leg. Apparently, the daughter straight up and ran to EM and my girlfriend when they came in the carriage, and girlfriend said that the kid was way too young to be left on her own, and they were actually pretty close to the front of the train. But nothing else happened after that. No stopping, calling police, assault of any kind. EM just went back to her seat, but girlfriend and I thought we saw her walk through the carriage before ours a little while later and speak to someone in there, so maybe she was trying again with someone else. My name is Entitled Mother, and I'm so up in my own rear that I think I deserve seats that someone else paid extra for. In fact, I'm so entitled, I'm just going to abandon my injured daughter and pester these innocent bystanders for their seats. Great idea! Well, guys, that's all for today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story's about EM vandalizes OP's car because OP won't give her the parking spot. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you next time on Dr. Monkey.